No programa de hoje, Cory Sandhagen analisa suas principais armas no marca registrada. Anthony Coração de Leão Smith fala sobre como encara a vida de lutador em Código de Guerreiro. Marcos Pezão relembra sua inesquecível estreia no UFC contra o brasileiro Richardson Moreira. Olá e bem-vindos ao Conexão UFC. O lutador peso galo do UFC Cory Sandhagen é um finalizador e nocauteador comprovado dentro do octógono. Suas habilidades física e técnica formam um dos estilos mais eficientes e devastadores do UFC. The Sandman detalha suas habilidades e analisa seus golpes mais eficazes no marca registrada.
I'm Cory Sandhagen, and this is my signature series. My style is really a compilation of all of the martial arts that I've watched in the last 12 years of my life since I started this journey.
Oh, Cory Sandhagen does it again!
It's come from a lot of watching the past, but it's also a lot of me trying to invent as many things as I can and be on the cutting edge of martial arts today. The body frame that I have, I'm much rangier and a lot more lanky than a lot of the guys in the division. Also being very defensive in my fights makes my style very efficient. First move, the jab. My jab is definitely a really important part of my game. I can keep people at bay with it, I can hit them as they step in, and I can use it efficiently to set up my more powerful techniques. The easiest way to get your jab countered is by committing to the jab every single time, so you don't want to do that. What you want to do is use your jab as kind of a feeler. Sometimes I'm just hitting their hands, sometimes I'm aiming a couple inches short of their face, setting up your more powerful technique. Sometimes you can step, sometimes you can't step, sometimes it's better to step right, sometimes it's better to step left, forward, backwards. Those are not the important parts to me. It's more about how you're using it and making sure that you're in a good body position while you're using it. First thing that's important is making sure that my body is underneath me. Whether you're moving forwards, backwards, left, or right, your feet, your hips, and your shoulders also need to move. So if you're going to move your jab forward, you need to step forward. If you're going to throw your jab off to the left, your body, your shoulders, and your feet need to also move to the left. When I was using the jab at its most efficient is when I was fighting John Lineker. John Lineker is, a shade over 5 foot. He has little limbs, but he can chuck very hard punches.
Lineker throwing bombs low and high here early.
But while he's throwing those bombs, I'm scoring much cleaner shots.
Nice fast jab there by Sandhagen.
While Lineker's standing and waiting to land the big shot, Sandhagen's faking, coming out, coming in. It adds up as the rounds build. That's fundamentals, that's smart.
My jab is definitely on display in that fight. Next up, the left hook to the body. Getting hit in the liver, I think, is 10 times worse than getting hit in the face.
That's his best punch, in my opinion, is that liver shot he throws.
You can always tell when you've landed a good body shot because the opponent can't hide it.
Oh, beautiful body shot from Sandhagen.
Their elbow gets a little bit tighter. You see them take a couple steps back. You see their demeanor change. When you're throwing the left hook to the body, you need to be driving your feet into the ground because that's going to make you heavier. When you're driving your feet into the ground and you twist in your hips, which is where a lot of the power comes from with driving into the ground, when you twist your hips, you need to pretend that you have a tail. You're whipping that tail as hard as you can, and you're letting your arm be that tail. If their guard is up, you're just aiming right underneath that elbow. If they don't have a very good guard, you're aiming just between the belly button and the edge of their body. It's a shot that you just can't take too many of. You know, I don't care how tough you are, the organs don't like being punched.
To go to the liver the way he did, that's just game plan and a lot of boxing fundamentals. Good job.
Finally, the flying knee. The flying knee is one of the most spectacular moves in combat sports because the knee is just a really nasty thing to get hit with. There's two really good times to throw the flying knee. When someone takes a step towards you and you just fill that space with a really devastating shot. And then the other time is when they're on their heels backing up and you leap at them from a long range where they're not prepared for that.
Oh! Huge flying knee for Sandhagen. Mouthpiece goes flying.
The flying knee isn't the most technical thing in the world. It's just knowing when to throw it. You want to throw it into space, hoping that they step in. It doesn't need to be the perfect technique in order to score it. It's just one of those things where I'm going to throw this thing really hard, and if you run into it, it's going to be a bad night for you. When I was fighting Frankie Edgar, Frankie wasn't moving backwards at all.
Frankie Edgar, trademark pressure moving forward.
When you do that, it makes it really obvious that they're going to be there for whatever you throw in that range. Frankie threw a couple combinations, started coming at me again, and I threw the flying knee into that space.
Oh,
It landed very devastatingly.
flying knee! Kicks out! Cory Sandhagen with a highlight for the ages!
Part of it is the power that I was able to generate, but a lot of it was Frankie moving forward. And that just makes for a really nasty, head-on collision.
Absolutely perfect. That's the only way you could put it.
Se você está à procura de uma pessoa que realmente encara a vida como um lutador, Anthony Smith é essa pessoa. Com o apelido apropriado de Coração de Leão, a dedicação de Smith à luta e suas performances corajosas no octógono provaram repetidamente porque ele é reverenciado por lutadores e fãs. Smith fala sobre o que é preciso para ter um desempenho de alto nível em Código de Guerreiro.
For me personally, my discipline is what makes me so successful. Training is hard and it's long, and if you don't have the discipline to show up when you don't want to, you never go. If I only went to train the times where I'm feeling good or that I'm feeling in the mood to go do it, I wouldn't do it. Being away from my family, away from my kids, away from my fiance, my friends, I'm kind of isolated by myself. I don't hang out with fighters. I don't hang out with athletes. I hang out with regular people, and those people aren't in my sport. If I wasn't disciplined, I just wouldn't do it, And then when it comes down to the fight, I'm obviously an instinctual fighter, but there's a lot of discipline that comes along with that. Your instincts are really just, it's really just training coming out. In the fights, I have to be able to listen to my coaches. I have to trust them and be disciplined to do exactly what they want me to do. Stepping in the octagon, it's the biggest adrenaline rush. Like you'll never experience it anywhere else because you know what's about to happen. You know that the other man that's in there, especially at this level, is one of the most dangerous men walking the planet. The crowd's going crazy. You see Bruce Buffer walking in, it's insane. So I don't care how many planes you jump out of, I don't care how many times you bungee jump or all the crazy stuff you do, you'll never ever feel that rush. It's like nothing else matters. When I'm in the heat of battle, I don't really feel the crowd. It's like it's just me and him. I hear my coaches, but other than that, I don't really hear the roars of the crowd when a punch is landed or the boos if they're not enjoying it. I guess I don't really notice my surroundings because I'm just in the moment that I'm in. And it's probably because I just enjoy being there so much.
There it is. That's it.
Everybody likes to win, but not everybody enjoys the actual action of fighting. That's what I love more than anything in the world. I love the feeling of landing a clean punch, and I like being in those really tight exchanges where you got punches whizzing by your face.
Oh! Drops him with the elbow! Anthony Lionheart Smith with a huge win tonight!
Everything about it just drives me crazy. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I can't fight anymore because I don't know where I'm gonna get that rush. I think hard is the unwillingness to submit. And that's in every sense of the game. There's guys out there that are better than I am. There's guys that are stronger, there's guys that are faster, but no one's gonna out-heart me. It's never gonna happen. I want it more than anybody else. And that's why I'm where I'm at. Earlier in my career, I wasn't anywhere close to as good as I am now. I got through a lot of fights and a lot of situations just off of pure heart because I just wanted it more. And that's what having heart means to me. It's the burning fire to succeed. By any means necessary, I'll do whatever it takes to get the win.
He's down on the scorecard. He's got about half the round left to get this win. That right hand's left.
I never lose my heart. You know, I never lose that unwavering will to win. You're exhausted, you're broken, you're tired, but you still have it.
He is a ferocious competitor.
No matter how many rounds I'm down or how bad I'm beaten or whatever, I always feel like I can win.
And to the finish, Lionheart Smith, wow, continues his rise to the top.
I think your legacy is something that's important, but when this career's all said and done and I hang it up, I hope that they say that I treated everyone with respect, that I carried myself with some amount of pride, that I didn't step on someone else to get to where I'm going. I want to keep doing what I love as long as I can and supporting my family to do that. As long as my friends and family are proud of the things that I've done and are proud to say that I'm their friend or that I'm their dad or that I'm their husband, that's all I really care about.
Após uma participação na terceira temporada do The Ultimate Fighter Brasil, o peso pesado Marcos Pezão fez sua estreia no UFC em sua cidade natal, São Paulo. Pezão teve que enfrentar um outro competidor do TUF, Richardson Moreira. Com ambos buscando mostrar seu potencial em sua primeira aparição no UFC, a amizade foi deixada de lado dentro do Octógono em 2014. Marcos relembra aquela noite no quadro Minha Estreia.
Minha luta com o Richardson Moreira, né, veio através do TUF. A gente participou da casa do The Ultimate Fighter Brasil 3. Eu tive uma boa participação, ganhei 2 lutas, mas perdi na semifinal pro cara de sapato e ele perdeu pro Vitor Miranda. E aí surgiu a oportunidade de a gente fazer essa luta no dia da final, né? Eu e o Rick, a gente é amigo até hoje, né? Esses dias eu tava contando uma história da gente treinando nos Estados Unidos, entendeu? Depois da luta, né? A gente sempre teve amizade antes de entrar no TUF e quando nós entramos no TUF, a gente teve uma boa relação e tivemos que lutar. Foi, né, uma luta, mas depois a gente mantém amizade até hoje, treinamos juntos na American Top Team e que é um grande amigo. Bom, lutar em São Paulo pra mim é sempre bom, né? Eu sou de São Paulo e aí quando eu entrei na arena, eu me emocionei muito na entrada, eu rasguei minha blusa, eu lembro que eu puxei minha blusa, rasguei, joguei no chão, chutei meu chinelo voou pra torcida.
Get after it, young man. Marcos Rogério de Lima, the 28-year-old making that walk to the octagon, and this was the first overall heavyweight pick of Team Sonnen on the show. He was a guy who certainly impressed in the fight to get into the house and certainly drew the eye of one Chael Sonnen. Marcos Rogério de Lima fighting his good friend Richardson Moreira.
Então, a luta eu sabia que o Rick era muito forte, ia tentar me derrubar, entendeu? Então eu aceitei o clinch com ele, eu tenho boas joelhadas no clinch ali e em uma das joelhadas que eu dei, ele saiu, eu apliquei um direto, um cruzado, são 2 golpes muito fortes meu e acabei nocauteando. E eu...
Moreira trying to recover, but that'll do it. Marcos Rogério de Lima.
Entendeu? Eu me emocionei muito depois. Eu lembro que eu deitei no chão, chorei.
Beautiful, well-timed, straight right hand, connected flush. So important as you break the clinch to get your guard back up, and you see De Lima really took advantage of that opportunity and caught Moreira with his left hand low since he had an underhook there.
Com certeza a vitória em cima do Rick Monstro me colocou dentro do UFC e fez com que o UFC olhasse para mim, entendeu? O atleta que eu sou um cara potente, explosivo e tenho muito para contribuir para a organização.
Ladies and gentlemen, Marcos Rogério de Lima.
E chegamos ao fim desse episódio. Entre em contato com a gente e compartilhe sua opinião online usando a hashtag Conexão UFC. Até a próxima!